We are all aware of the events that happened in the Sabody Archipelago. It was one of the most iconic moments in the history of One Piece history. Kuma, whom we then thought was a cold-hearted villain, actually saved the Straw Hats and, spoiler alert, became a bodyguard for the Thousand Sunny Go for 2 whole years. But let's just say, what if Kuma's Pawpaw Devil Fruit ability was a bit multiversal? And instead of sending the Straw Hats in the same verse, he sent them to other animeverses. Sounds exhilarating, right? Today, we will be exploring the gentleman musician of the group, Brook. Let's dive in. It started with a scream. Not Brook's, but something ancient, unnatural. A sound that twisted the air itself. One moment he was standing on the deck of the Thousand Sunny, bowing politely to Nami and asking to see her panties. The next, the sky tore open like paper. A black void swallowed him whole. No light, no sound, just pressure, crushing and cold. When he opened his eyes, oh wait, Brook doesn't have eyes. Yo! He wasn't at sea anymore. No sunlight, no laughter, only chaos. He stood in the middle of a street littered with blood, bullet shells, and pieces of what used to be people. Cars flipped, sirens howling in the distance, the sky was stained red like it had been bleeding for days. And then, she appeared. Red hair, cold eyes, smile that didn't reach her face. Makima-san. She didn't flinch, didn't ask why a living skeleton was in her world and why it was talking. She looked at him like she'd been expecting him. And to top it all off, she knew exactly how she could make use of this poor lost soul to do her bidding. Brook tried to speak, and being the pervert gentleman he is, asked the famous question he is always asking of any lady he meets for the first time. You guessed it, that question. Also, asking where he was. But her response cut through the silence like a blade. You're not a devil, but you're not human either. Interesting. Something deep inside Brook shivered. Probably his heart, if he had any. Yo! And that's when it hit him. This wasn't just another world. This was hell with rules. And he had just become a player in a game where devils wear human faces. And your soul is the price of survival. Makima didn't blink, no surprise there. Didn't question. She simply stepped forward, heels echoing on bloodstained pavement like this was just another Tuesday. Brook tilted his skull. She looked so calm, so composed, yet the energy around her, it screamed predator. I could use someone like you, she said. You're not bound by devil contracts, not bound by fear. That makes you special. Brook chuckled nervously. Yo, I don't suppose this is the afterlife. Makima smiled, soft, eerie. No, this is reality. A very cruel one. And just like that, she offered to strike a deal with him. Work for me, eliminate devils, clean up this mess of a world, and in return, her voice dropped to a whisper, I'll grant you one wish. Brook froze. That word, wish, pierced through his hollow chest. He didn't need to ask how she knew. Somehow, she saw it in him. The pain, the longing, the promise was carved into bone for all those years in Thriller Bark before meeting Luffy and the gang. Laboon. Brook didn't answer right away. He looked down at his skeletal hands, then back at the city skyline. Dark, twisted, broken. This world wasn't his. But maybe, just maybe, this was the path to what he'd been chasing all along. I accept, madam. Makima wasted no time. Brook was assigned to Division 4, right between Aki, Power, and Denji. That's where things got weird. Denji stared at Brook like he'd seen a ghost, like it would be his first time seeing the undead. To be fair, he kind of had. What the hell are you? Denji asked, mouthful of toast. Brook bowed. I am the musician of the sea, a humble skeleton swordsman. Yo! Silence. Then Denji burst out laughing. Okay, I like this guy. Despite their obvious differences, Brook and Denji clicked fast. Turns out both had an unusual obsession with women, food, and making the best out of a hellish situation. Brook would play the violin in the hallway, Denji would nod along, pretending he understood classical music. Brook also introduced the famous Bink Sake song to Division 4. Needless to say, they all loved it. They were chaos, but they were family. Still, Brook knew he couldn't rely on just music and swordsmanship in this world. Devils here were brutal, strange, unforgiving. He needed more, and that's when he met it. A devil that didn't try to eat him on sight. The Echo Devil. Sound-based, ancient, forgotten. It offered him a contract, one not built on fear, but harmony. In exchange for his music, his soul's melody, Brook would gain the power to shatter minds with sound. A single note could rupture organs, a scream could crumble buildings. Knowing the dangers of this world, he accepted. And for the first time since entering the world, Brook wasn't just surviving. He was becoming something far more dangerous. Brook's name spread fast. Not because he was flashy, not because he was loud, but because he was clean. No footsteps, no wasted movement, just silence, then collapse. Devils would stop mid-rampage, ears bleeding, eyes rolling back, dropping without ever even seeing their killer. He was a sound-based Grim Reaper. Word got around. They started calling him the Silent Reaper, which is his third alias after Dead Bones Brook and Humming Brook. Even Aki, who treated emotion like it was a disease, gave Brook a nod one night after a brutal mission. He acknowledged him and had respect for the guy. "You're not like the others," he said. "You don't fight for power, you fight for something real." Brook didn't respond, just stared at the moon with his eye sockets. Makima noticed too. She'd give him longer glances, subtle smirks, like she was studying a project she hadn't fully understood. Yet. But not all the devils were simple. Not all could be defeated with a song. One mission changed everything. They were sent to investigate a new devil. No name, no type, just local rumors, bodies, static over the radios. Well, they found it in an abandoned concert hall. Its body was stitched from broken instruments and torn concert posters, its face half trumpet, half screaming mouth. The Resonance Devil. It didn't attack with claws or teeth, it used sound. Sound that vibrated the soul. It twisted Brook's own music against him, mirroring his notes, distorting them, throwing the rhythm back like a weapon. Brook staggered. His bones cracked under invisible pressure, his violin, his voice fractured in his hands. He was losing. The world blurred. The music inside him dimmed. And then, chainsaws. Denji burst through the sidewall like a lunatic on fire. "Yo, Brook, you dying or what?" Covered in blood, laughing, screaming, swinging like a man with nothing to lose and everything to prove, Brook laughed through the pain. "Yo, I'm already dead." They fought like madmen. Denji went high, tearing the devil apart. Brook dropped low, unleashing a single deep note that split the floor beneath them. Then, silence. The Resonance Devil imploded in a burst of sound and shadow. When it was over, Denji collapsed next to him, panting. "Dude, you good?" Brook nodded. No soul was taken today. "Cool," Denji grinned. "I'm starving." They sat there, surrounded by rubble, blood, and broken instruments, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Days later, Makima called Brook to her office. "You completed your service," she said. "I'll grant your wish now." Brook stiffened. He'd waited for decades for this, died for it, killed for it, played for it. She opened a door. No magic words, no chants, just a smooth motion. And beyond it, the sea. The sky turned blue, the air changed, and in the mist, Redline. A whale among the mist with the straw hat symbol on its face, Laboon. Huge, gentle, crying. Brook didn't move. Tears don't fall from empty sockets, but he felt them anyway. Laboon let out a deep, sorrowful call, recognizing him instantly, even though he was just bones and afro now. Brook took one step forward, then turned back. Denji was standing in the hallway, scratching his head. "Yo, where are you going?" Brook smiled. "To keep a promise." He paused. "You'll be okay, Denji. You're stronger than you know. Just try to wear pants more often." And with that, he stepped into the sea. He never returned, not to Division 4, not to Makima, not to the battlefield. But on some nights, when the city's too quiet and the devils stir with hunger, a faint violin plays in the dark, and you can hear humming. Soft, steady, haunting. A lullaby for the damned, a reminder that even in this twisted world, one man kept his soul. The Soul King. One man kept his promise. And that man was already dead. But some say that wasn't the end. Rumors whispered through Division 4. A devil once claimed it heard music coming from hell itself, a melody so pure it made even the gun devil pause. Makima never confirmed it, she just smiled, like she knew something no one else did. There are stories now of devils dying before they're ever seen, of hunters waking from dreams soaked in music, hearts pounding, tears falling, and they don't know why. And sometimes, just sometimes, when Denji sits alone after a mission, blood drying on his face, he hears it. Faint, just a few notes. A violin playing their old battle theme. He always laughs it off. "Must be the trauma," he says. But deep down, he knows. Brook didn't just leave. He became something this world didn't deserve, but desperately needed. A whisper in the dark, a song between life and death, and if you're lucky, or unlucky, you might hear it too. Just pray it's a lullaby, not a requiem. Yo! So, what would you do if Makima gave you a chance to rewrite your fate? Would you take the deal? And which anime world should we throw Brook into next? Let us know in the comments, hit like, smash subscribe, and ring that bell before the Echo Devil decides to remix your heartbeat. And I'll catch you next time.